Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Awaken the Possibilities Freedom Friday. This is all about, on Fridays at 3 p.m., how to find freedom and awaken possibilities in business and in life. I'm Terry Wildemann. I'm the owner of Intuitive Leadership University, and I love helping entrepreneurs find what they're meant to do, how they're meant to do it in a way that they can serve humanity for themselves and for others. I have a really great guest today where we're for our fireside chat. And this is a free flow chat. It tends to be a bit unstructured on purpose to allow the energy to flow through, to allow us to awaken possibilities, to create freedom within from a place of genuine spirit. My guest today is Harrison Klein. Harrison has a wonderful background. He is a fantastic teacher, and I'm proud to say a good friend. So, Harrison, I'd like for you to please introduce yourself to the folks who are watching.
Well, I'm Harrison Klein. mean, I don't know what other kind of introduction you may want. In terms of who I am or what I do, those are not who I am, but they're all part of me. So,
Please share with us
what would
what
you
you
look what
do.
what would you let? What was that?
Please share with us what you do.
Um, I help people get fulfilled. Businesses get fulfilled. People get fulfilled. I help them go from pain to pleasure, from poverty to wealth, from distraction to focus, from whatever their issues happen to be in terms of enlightenment and or personal growth or business growth. So I have been doing that for, God, a lot of years. Uh, my background deals with the fact that I taught at high school and then university level for 16 years. And then I had 3 years in the movie industry where we raised $32 million to produce a feature film. Then I did 3 years doing something else, and I've been a serial entrepreneur for 22 years. So um, that's my background in terms of things. But in terms of helping people, I just um, I guess I'm an enlightenment coach, if you want to really put a title on it. I don't really use that, but here I am, an enlightenment coach. Yay!
There
And
you go.
part of my process, since I've been a really happy camper for the last probably 45 years, unmitigated happiness has just been, free flow for me. So, I use that happiness as part of a way to liberate others, liberate their happiness, liberate their joys, liberate their finances, liberate their lives. I make it all fun. And, it's a beautiful thing. So it's easy to work with when you're happy. Everything is easy to get done when you're happy. When you're struggling, when you're effortful, when you're overly committed, focused, overwhelmed, those things are not fun.
No,
But
they're
if you
not.
can reframe, yeah, if you can reframe yourself to get past the heaviness, the sluggishness, the all that, and you step into the place where you are playful,
Mhm.
your life becomes kind of ecstatic. And I just play. I don't have any delineation between work and play any longer. It's all the same to me.
Mhm.
And I'm just in a constant state of enjoying myself.
I love that constant state of enjoying yourself. And that's one of the things that we were going to talk about today because there is a lot of energy going on today with worldwide events that have a lot of us feeling very, very low, and a lot of us in a place of wonderment, not necessarily from a positive place, but more of a negative place. For those of us who are positive and excited about what is going to come, um, I happen to be one of those who, as much as I'm the sad things that are going on do affect me, and I know that these are
Sure.
things that are going to, I mean, how can they not? We're human. So it's about allowing things to elevate, allowing things to just happen the way they're meant to happen. That's really a hard thing to say. I mean, who am I to say, to say, oh well, I'm not in other people's shoes. To put myself in other people's shoes and try and work and understand from where they are can be very challenging. So, where do we get the humor? Where do we get the lightness? Where do we find happiness in the midst of this chaos that is happening?
You know, I mean, I have a lot to say about that in a lot of different areas. So, one of the things that I want people, let me get close to the audience here for a second. Close. Okay, here we go. So, one of the things about happiness is that it's a state of being. You know, being
Mhm.
lightheartedness is not something that you do, it's something you are. So, it's a state of being. You can't explain a state of being, you can't do a state of being, you can only be a state of being. You can't do happiness, you can only be happy. You can't do wealth, you can only be wealthy. And then wealth comes to you. So a state of being is what causes our ability to think. It sponsors all of our thoughts, and our thoughts then sponsor our actions, and our actions then sponsor our ability to receive what we want. But states of being are in a space of understanding ourselves. It's part of it is self-awareness. Part of it is the ability to be in a place that accesses better and better feelings about things. So there's a difference between the people who are suffering through all this, beside unless it's financial suffering, but people who are suffering are framing it in a way that creates pain and creates lack. And the thing is, we don't have any pain or lack naturally. We do that by the way we think. So it's really important to find out what is our internal and greatest sense of what's going on in front of us. So the fun part is unraveling the game. So there's a difference between the events of what happens and the perspective on the events of what happens.
Okay.
An event is something, getting a paycheck. The perspective is, my God, this is going to open up a whole new level by retraining myself, retraining my thoughts, becoming somebody better, experiencing, more closeness to other people, experiencing, learning new skills, experiencing energy, new curiosities, new, professional ability, getting to read more. Conditions don't cause us happiness or sadness or pain. It's the happiness, being happy, that causes happy conditions. It causes sad conditions. So the way most people have it is they believe the conditions affect the way that they are. That's not the truth. The truth is the way that you are affects you. So experiences your condition. So you don't step. Um, you have to. You have, so as you make a decision to be something, that sponsors the way you think. That sponsors the way you act. It sponsors the way you in one way. And so
Sure.
life is structured that society tells you. I don't know why I'm like isn't working me well.
Well, one thing that
Situation, you have to you
yeah, we're having a hard time with the connection.
basically I'm having
Yes, I lost you. I can hear you now. Yeah, I lost you for a little bit. I'm gonna make sure I'm
okay.
hardwired here.
So you know, so the way we experience, okay. The way we experience ourselves has to do with how we think about ourselves, our self-image. There's only three, if we want to change our experience, there's only three ways to do that. One is through self-image. The other one is through belief. And the third one is through. So those are the only three ways.
Did you say shock?
We are. Yeah, shock changes us immediately. So when we're shocked, we change our state of being. So
Got it.
The way to change your belief system is to think differently and to take on new beliefs, to basically practice an idea that you believe to be true long enough until it's habitual, and then it becomes automatic. And that's what a belief is.
Can I stop you right there?
Long enough, it's true.
Can I stop you right there? Because one of the things, many of us have gifts, and what you just said, I think, is very important. I'm looking at the picture that is over your head of the superheroes, and if you take a really good look at every single one of
the heroes,
the what? Yes. So if you take the superheroes.
Okay.
If you take a really good look at each of those superheroes, all of them had talents within that they were denying in some way, shape, or form. And in some cases, being unhappy propelled them into their calling, because you've got, and when you look at the Avengers back there, right there, all those folks, Spider-Man got bit by a spider, and he was denying his gifts until his uncle died in his arms. Okay. Wonder Woman, she had all of these amazing gifts, didn't know what to do. She didn't know what her purpose was. And this guy fell out of the sky and basically led her to what her purpose was. And you look at the other superheroes, they all have similar stories. They were everyday men and women who were just like you and me, who happen to have amazing gifts and were able to use those gifts in times of chaos, quite frankly.
There's a thing called the hero's journey, which is pretty standard for most people to become enlightened with. The hero's journey, you are unsatisfied with where you are and what you're doing. You're in a place whereby, you need to get away from that situation. So the hero's journey always starts with the hero leaving home to explore something that he's never done or felt because his condition was so horrible in its state. First thing that happens when you leave home to explore a new state, or leave home, even mentally to explore a different state, is that you come into a place of resistance. So you come into what is a state of discovery. And the state of discovery is actually the beginning of enlightenment, because when you are in a state of discovery, you are digging deep for who you are, what you think, what you feel, where you fit in the world. So we all have these amazing powers within. And so we have to find what those powers are, and they take some deep digging. They don't just have. So they take a little bit of deep digging. We're trained from the time we're children to, think negatively of ourselves, or to say that life is hard, or money is hard, or we're not good enough, or fast enough, or smart enough, or strong enough, or whatever the case may be. But so we start to go out there to explore. We meet all kinds of new people. We get all kinds of new information. The discovery state is a state that is actually a very stunning state. It's a state of awe. I experienced my first real significant kind of awakening in travel, because I was traveling with no agenda. and I was always in a state of awe. I'd go to this place and I'd turn a corner and there was this massive vista that I could see 75 miles, and I was stunned by the beauty of it. And then I was going through the forests and then these fast moving rivers and, waterfalls and animals that I would spot where I was going. So the more I was traveling without agenda, the more I was seeing that was, un anticipated and unexpected. So what happened was, when this happens, when you're in a state of something you've never known before, your soul steps forward in front of your conditioning because the soul takes care of you. And so most of the time it's in the background. Most people the soul is, playing behind the music of all their conditioning, what they've been learning, what their memories are, what their thoughts are, what their imaginations are, et cetera, et cetera. The soul is a bigger, way bigger state than that. It's the 99% of us. And so it only comes forward when you step into the unknown, and then it takes the foreground. Then the conditioning thoughts or memories or imagination, all those other things, they take the secondary state. So so as you go into a state of discovery, your soul comes forward more and more to protect you and to also to enliven you because you need more energy in the unknown than you do in the known. The known is just habitual patterns, but the unknown is really an energetic state. So you go through this state of discovery, but what happens is that you encounter opposition in the freedom portion of that. So when you go past the awakening of the soul or the discovery state, you find out what your true values are, and a lot of that becomes, kind of you find out that there's opposition to your values, your freedom, because you become a great truth. You become truth in and of yourself, and that truth, all truth is challenged at one point or another. So anybody who's not living in a truthful state, challenges those that are truthful because they don't understand the energy of the unknown, the differences and stuff like that. It's a whole other.
It's a whole other topic.
It's a whole level of being,
Sure.
and as you go through that, it's sort of like the war, but you go through this war through a series of challenges to discover the highest state you can come into. And as you do that and you come through the journey and you experience your awakening or your fun or your joy or your happiness, you begin to experience that as indigenous to who you are. Now you become so anchored in that because it feels so good. You're helping other people to do the same thing.
So we have awakened the superhero within.
You're awakening the superhero within, yeah. And that makes you money, that makes you, it makes your personality fun, it makes your joy amazing, it makes your relationships better, it makes your experience of things deeper. I mean, and you really feel, even though physically you can't, but you feel like you're soaring all the time. You feel like you're flying in this high state of being, and you're going, I am thankful for this. Jesus, look at this perspective. I got the 60,000.
It's important to remember, though, that even superheroes have bad days.
They do have bad days on occasion. Again, all great truths are challenged. All great beingness is challenged at one point or another. So nobody said this was going to be an unchallenged life. You didn't come onto this planet to be smooth all the way. The fun in learning is that you have to overcome challenges.
Right.
But when you see it as a game and when you see a challenge as fun, as opposed to, oh my God, woe is me, you open up that greatness within yourself. Go, wow, that's an interesting game. How could that guy be so boring? Or
that girl,
or how could
that woman. Okay, so Harrison, this is a great place to wrap things up on this Good Friday, actually. You've shared with us how to bring out the superhero within. And when we do that, there's a lightness and there's a levity that can happen when we honor
lightness of being.
The what?
Yeah. The lightness of being.
Lightness of being. That's right.
And then
So
you actually radiate light, which is
there we.
interesting that most people can't see. But go ahead.
But perhaps they can feel it. They may not be able to see it, but
They
they
they always they always feel it.
right.
They always have a sense of your frequency. Yes.
So where can people find you?
Well, I live at home. No. You can, if you're talking about the web, you go to IamHarrisonKlein.com. I also have IamHarrisonKleinInternational.com. Those have a list of my products and some of my events and other things like that. But I am Harrison Klein, or you can go to the I Am Effect, IAMEFFECT.com. And those are some of my products and some of my, the things that I offer. I have 42 years of awakened experience that I help people with. There's pretty much nothing I haven't seen. Although
Okay, well,
there's still some unknowns that are coming, I'm sure. But
thank you so
most
very
things that
much,
people experience.
Harrison, for the privilege of having this fireside chat with you. It's been most enjoyable and educational. Again, thank you everybody for coming to Freedom Friday on Awaken the Possibilities. We do this every Friday at 3 p.m. with a different individual from our HEAL Network group. So HEAL stands for Holistic Education and Leadership. So our HEAL Network group. So we look forward to connecting with you again next Friday for Freedom Friday, sponsored by the Awaken the Possibilities Facebook group. So if you would like to join us, go to facebook.com/groups/Awaken the Possibilities. And I also host a podcast by the same name, Awaken the Possibilities, that you can listen to on various stations as well as on YouTube and on our website by going to awakenthepossibilities.com. So we wish you a fantastic Easter weekend and we look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks. Take care.
Stay happy. Stay happy.